So really quick, I thought I'd do a little coverage on Arduino Pulse Width Modulation. There's a million and one tutorials or videos on it out there, but I thought I'd show you just my take and something I ran into. So what I've got here is my Arduino data logger that I'm working on. This isn't going to be covering the logger itself, but hopefully that's somewhat in focus. Anyway, what you can see poorly is the fact that the LEDs are backlighting the circuit. There we go. So what do I have here is the four Nokia 5110 LEDs. What I ran into is these China-made boards are in fact reversed of the others. They are ground to activate the LED. So what you should be doing is current limiting the ground to vary the brightness on the LEDs. I chose not to do that, and please be aware, if you do what you're going to see here, you take all responsibility for the damage to the board. What I'm doing is I'm PWM driving off of the Arduino to dim the LEDs. So what I've got in the sketch, which we probably aren't going to be able to get, as I saw from my last video, maybe good enough. At the top of the screen you'll see that I do an analog write to pin 11 with a value of 220. The PWM is 0 to 255. 220 would be a very high on-duty cycle. That will work pretty good for a ground-driven LED array. So what we'll do is, I'll show you real quick. We've got a ground lead hooked up for my scope, which is right there, and I ran another live lead, and I'll just go ahead and hook it up to the scope, and we'll take a look at the scope. So this is with a value of 220, and that's what we look like. So see the extremely high on cycle compared to the off. That will cause us a dim LED, being that it's ground side switched. So we can go to measure and display all. There we go, on, and kill the menu. And if you look, our duty cycle is 86.3%. On the positive side, 13.7 on the negative side. And what I can do real quick is I won't even bother, because I think my COM port is probably not set up. So if we want to change that value to even more on cycle, we bump it up slightly from the 220. But I have found that at 220 I get a very, very dim driven LED. And the Rigol is nice to check the values, and we can see exactly what's going on. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I know it's not a real tutorial of sorts, but that's the LED driven ground side switched, and that is the analog write value that I've decided to do on pin 11 at a value of 220, and I even threw some comments in my code, so I'll remember what the heck I was doing with that 8 months from now. But yeah, next video I might take a deep dive through the code and just do a quick run through. As time goes on, what I'm finding is the code is getting much easier to understand, and even the error codes. Early on, the Arduino code, particularly the error messages when you try and compile it, was completely Greek to me. It turns out it's a lot more simpler in just a few minor projects, and everything sort of made sense. Yeah, it also helps having the scope sitting right there for a lot of troubleshooting of what was going on. I did have to troubleshoot the display a little bit. And next video, hopefully I'll show some of these. My Bluetooth modules have shown up from I don't remember where these, they were eBay, bottom of the barrel, overseas supplier. They took about 2 weeks-ish to arrive. I think they were in the neighborhood of $4 a piece. to double check that to be sure, but basically I don't order anything for the Arduino, let alone 3 of them, unless they're sub $5. So I'm going to add that in, and we'll see where that goes with some new projects. But yeah, that's the PWM for driving my Nokia 5110 LCD. Again, can't stress enough, don't do it the way I've done it unless you want to risk damage to the board. You are driving 4 LEDs off of it, but at this duty cycle, I'm okay with the risk to a $3 board and a sub $3 LCD module. Thanks for watching.